Hey guys, this is WhatiF here. This is going to be a big vlog, a lot to talk about, so I want to kind of... There's just a lot of things to get off my chest. I made a tweet about it a couple of days ago, maybe a week or so ago, saying there would be an update vlog once NASCAR 8 finished up, and it finally has. So I'll talk about the stuff that kind of happened before, or that's kind of most recent. I did end up getting the bowling ball. I posted a picture of it up on Twitter. I'll probably post a picture on the screen here. So I did end up getting it. Everything went through fine. It wasn't the brand that I was planning on getting, because I guess they simply don't make that kind anymore. So it's a Storm High Road bowling ball. I'm getting into that on a week-to-week basis, trying to get used to it. I haven't bowled in 4 years, so I'm still trying to get used to all that. And again, the big reason why I wanted to get this was because it would be just an opportunity for me to get out more and just do more things, and I definitely need that. It's really it's good for my sanity, so it'll be a big help in the grand scheme of things. So that's first and foremost. I wanted to get a new camera, but getting a bowling ball, being out and doing more stuff, and doing even little things like going to the movies and stuff, that would be another thing to do, and it'll be a help. But I really want to make this video to just talk about a couple of things, because it's been on my mind for like the last month, and I feel like in order to kind of cleanse myself, I just want to talk about this and kind of just get it all out, get it out of my basement, and then once it's all finished, I can completely just move on and just kind of forget about it. But so if you remember in the Texas race in NASCAR 8, this is the first one. I pretty much cut out a bunch of personal stuff that I was talking about, because it was still kind of fresh at the time, and I just kind of thought things would kind of patch over, or kind of smooth over in the next couple of days. So I thought that wasn't really the best idea. But it's been about a month and nothing's really changed. So I guess this is just what's gonna be like. And instead of being vague, I'm just gonna kind of go into detail a little bit about it and kind of start from the beginning. So if you noticed the banner change, it used to be the avatar and the banner, like all that stuff changed, and it's now to what Kamikaze designed. That was because of all the things. It was basically a falling out between me and this person, and all that sort of stuff. So in order for me not to think about it, one of the steps was just to not have that profile picture to be reminded of it. That was pretty much why. That was one of them. I can't thank KamikazeGames enough for the design for the profile picture. I really do like it. And in all fairness, where credit's due, I can't thank you enough for the banner and the profile picture. When it was up, I do think it helped out the channel. I'm talking about the artist that did the first one. I mean, at the end of the day, I still appreciate it. It's still awesome. And even a couple of months prior, I was talking about more the designs and whatnot to do, and she was gonna offer like a discount thing for that. So that's still awesome. I still appreciate that, despite everything. That was so nice that she did that for me and everything. I can't take that away. But naturally, with this falling out, in order to kind of move on, that was one of the steps I needed to do, to not think about it and to be reminded of it, because it is a shitty situation. I want to really get into it. I want to talk about like just how everything started off to begin with. I pretty much began talking to her around December 2015, and I don't think we began talking on a regular basis till maybe February 2016, I believe. So it's been 2 years and almost 3 months that we talked on an everyday sort of basis, and our friendship grew a lot, and it was just a common thing. Every day we would talk. Once a week, it would almost feel like we would be in a voice call for a bit. I mean, it was just consistent, and I mean, talking to her got me through a lot of rough times when I was working at Roadhouse, and it was just it was rough, and she was there for me to talk to, and it was awesome, and it helped me out a lot through all that. And because I was talking to her pretty much around 2016, for the first time in years, I think years, I actually felt good about myself, my confidence, my self-esteem. She brought that up. She elevated my morale and made me feel better about myself because I talked to her, and she made me feel, like, not like crap. So it was great. It was nice. 2017 rolled around. It was still fine. Then 2018 kind of came around, and right around April, things started to begin to fall apart, and it's a frustrating situation because it's a case of me fucking up and all that sort of stuff, and part on her, fault too. But I'll go into it. So around early 2017, I think. I asked her, like, hey, can we do a meetup? It would be awesome to meet up with you and just kind of, just hang out. She lived within driving distance. It would have been a decent drive, but it wouldn't have been impossible for me. And it was something that I really wanted to do because, she made me feel so much better about myself, and it would be great to kind of, spend time and just kind of hang out, watch anime and Steins Gate, because that was one of the reasons I got into Steins Gate was because of her, and the whole Dr. Pepper thing, and Kurisu, like all that sort of stuff. That was pretty much based on just watching it and just talking to her about it and all that, because it was very watching Steins Gate and just talking to her about that was a very like intimate sort of experience, not like sexual obviously, but just I felt like our friendship grew very close because of that, just that similar interest, and it was great. It was good shit. So basically that was the reason. That was the reason why I wanted to do the meetup and everything. So for the last year or so, things came up, things that were kind of out of her control, and I can't fault her for any of it really. It's just more of just things just didn't work out. Like I was saying, like the last year or so, we were just trying to plan things out, and the most frustrating thing is obviously there was things out of her control that she couldn't really handle, or just it was just set of circumstances that set it back. But it was also a mix of yes and no. Like sometimes early on it would be like a full-on yes, then it's sometimes maybe, and then it's sometimes no, then it's sometimes absolute definite no. So it was a big constant mixed bag, and like almost every time I would try to plan it. Like I need like your address, like where are you, and then we can kind of accordingly say, because the whole plan was supposed to be meet up in a hotel, and we'll just look around the areas and for like 2 to 3 days, and go from there and watch anime in the room or whatever. Like nothing extravagant or crazy, but I would need at least her address so I can look around her area for hotels, like simple stuff like that, and trying to plan out prices. And I was trying to talk to her about that, and she just like never attempted to try to have a conversation. She really didn't want me to kind of go into it. Like it was like just things like that just kind of just confused me, because naturally if you're gonna plan something for anything like a vacation trip or anything, you want to plan out where you're gonna go. If you're gonna go to Washington D.C., you want to plan your trip out and what you're gonna be doing from day to day, or basically you just don't. It's common sense, but I guess I shouldn't have done that so soon. I don't know, but regardless, the last year was just this Richter scale of things kind of coming up that were out of her control and whatnot. And I guess right then and there I should have realized there was red flags, and I should have just pulled the plug on it. But I was stupid, and obviously over time, the more I talked to her and everything, I really started to actually love her. Like I actually had a crush on her and everything. Like it just kind of just happened. It was only for me though. I asked her, or I kind of confessed to her. I just kind of just said it and kind of saw see what happened, and she didn't feel the same way, and it sucked. I mean, it did suck a lot, naturally. For me personally, it sucked more because, like, prior to her, there was really nobody else that I felt like this such, like, genuine, strong connection. And she was really, like, the first I kind of felt this certain way, and it just sucks that she just didn't feel the same way. However, nothing really changed in our friendship because of that. It wasn't like, you know, nothing really, like, bad happened because of that. So things kind of just moved on, and then I realized after some time had passed, like, she was no longer in a relationship with the person she was with, and I was thinking, like, oh, you know, maybe, you know, I can maybe the opportunity's open again. So I asked again. This was like a year later, or if not more, since then. And yeah, she didn't feel the same way, and that like really hurt, because like now it's just like, you know, because at the time she was already, you know, taken and whatnot, but I wanted to kind of, you know, get my feelings out there and see what would happen, and it just didn't work out. So yeah, that whole little bit sucked, but it really, like, that's kind of like child's play compared to the stuff I'm gonna probably bring up later. But so right around, like, I don't even know when, sometime in April, all of a sudden, like, because I'm in this this Discord group, and she's a part of it as well, among with other, like, a bunch of people. And one day I'm just going through, like, the sections. There's, like, subsections for stuff, and I think it was, like, maybe in the off-topic section or something, I don't know. But there was a picture with her and this other guy, and the guy took the picture, and, like, they actually ended up doing a meetup. And I'm just sitting here just thinking to myself, like, what the fuck? Because, like, I've been trying to plan this meetup with her for, like, the last year, and then all of a sudden this person that seemingly came out of nowhere just meets up with her, like, with no problems. And I did a little bit of research and whatnot, and I found out that this user has been on DeviantArt for at least 1 month. Now, I've since then I've, you know, PM'd him and asked like a few things, and he's told me that he's been around, or he has known her for at least 10 years. Now, I'll get back to that, because as this is going on early in the stages, I'm just really pissed, because here I am thinking, like, you know, I've spent pretty much every day talking to her for the past 2 years and planning this meetup for the last year, and then all of a sudden she meets up with this person she's only known for maybe a month. So it's like 2 years of our friendship and a year plus meetup planning and whatnot, and then this 1 month person just kind of pops in and she just meets him up with no problem. So that's kind of bullshit. That really got on my nerves, and that upset me a lot. And naturally, I was pretty jealous. I think rightfully so. And I talked to her about it, just, you know, to see, you know, what was going on, and just kind of just get an idea of, like, you know, what's up, because, you know, I just wanted to be just open about everything and just see what was going on. So she told me it just lined up perfectly, and to her you know, credit, it was because at that time she was no longer working 2 jobs, and she was just doing 1. So it was, like, perfect timing, but at the same, you know, time, like, you know, she led me on for, like, this last year or so, not really giving me an answer, not really, you know, kind of, you know, playing ring around the rosy sort of thing of the whole meetup thing. And she did, you know, admit that, you know, it was her fault. She should have, you know, made that clear. And she told me that, like, because I brought the meetup too much to her, the whole thing became sour to her. And that's where it really kind of got under my skin, because, you know, to me, I didn't think I brought it up that damn much. And that just hurt. That just really fucking hurt. Because this meetup would have meant a lot to me, and just to, and everything, and to hear that really fucking sucks. And it seemed like, you know, a person that she's only met for 1 month kind of, like, was like more on a higher pedestal than I was, even though I have talked to her for a longer period of time. And I can't even tell you how much money I spent commissioning her artwork and everything from 2016 to 2017. 2016, a good chunk of it was before I began taking YouTube seriously and whatnot. There was an instance where just commission stuff, good lord, I mean, I think there was an instance where there was a commission piece that was $60, and I think I made an off-the-cuff joke saying, like, you know, oh, it looks so good, it should be worth double the price, or it should be over $100 I should pay you, and she kind of felt, like, bummed out, like, that I didn't do it, and because I was working at the time and everything, like, at Roadhouse, and I can't say making more money or whatnot, but I just was like, oh, whatever, you know, I'll throw an extra 60, you know, I'll give you 120. It doesn't bother me, and because of like that, like it was able to kind of get her like, basically what I gave her as far as money was concerned was like half the price of a tablet she was gonna end up getting. And I can't even go into detail like how many things like throughout our conversations that inspired her to draw certain things. I mean, it's probably over a dozen, maybe, at like over the last 2 years maybe. So obviously it's just, I mean, it's just with all the times we talked and everything, like that whole like situation bugged me. So now I want to get back to the this person's known her for 10 years thing, because this is where the story gets really just, I'm getting two sides, because I talked to the other guy that ended up meeting up with her, and he's told me that, you know, he's known her for 10 years. And when I ended up talking to her about it, like, I was saying the same things like I was telling you here, like, you know, it's just, you know, it just sucks that, you know, you met up with this person you've only known for a month compared to, you know, for me, and, you know, that sort of stuff. And the confusing thing is she never corrected me on this. Like, you would think in that in that time, you would want to correct me on that, saying something along the lines of, hey, you're wrong, I've known him for a lot longer than a month. Nothing like that. So I'm getting a story where one person says they've known her for 10 years, and then her never really correcting herself on that. So I'm getting two different things. And then if that's the case, where they've known each other for 10 years, why did it take 10 years to finally end up meeting them, like each other? Like, that shouldn't, like, that just seems like a pill that's just way too hard to swallow. So I don't know. My only guess, so I have to guess at this point, is that like he's known her for 10 years on a casual level. Like maybe he's talked to her sparsely throughout all that time, and it wasn't only until recently where they began talking a lot more. And it could be that. I'm assuming that's the case because, yeah, that just seems like the most logical sort of event to kind of happen in this situation. So I guess in general, like that's just the first stage of the situation and everything. And yeah, that whole thing, I think I could safely say she was in the wrong for kind of leading me on for that last year, and she apologized for that, and I accepted it. So that was that. Like at that point, that was kind of like water under the bridge sort of situation. And then I think, I don't even know, like maybe a week later, then I see she met up with somebody else. I guess it was a friend of the guy she met. Like this other person met up with her as well, along with this friend and whatnot. And I'm just sitting here to myself thinking, okay, something's just getting not right, because, you know, she's meeting up with a person she's only known for maybe a month or longer. I don't know. But now she's just meeting up with somebody like she has next to no like connections with or talk to at all, hardly. If so, it's very, very little. And now it just feels kind of just insulting to me, just because, like, you know, these people that are just kind of popping in like out of nowhere, to at least to me, from my perspective, just kind of popping in out of nowhere. She's just willing to meet up with these people that she's barely talked to, And then here I am talking to her every day for 2 years, and I guess I don't mean nearly as much compared to somebody who just it feels very unbalanced. It's almost like, you know, if somebody makes a Patreon account and they have their tiers and pledges and whatnot, and somebody does the $10 tier, and here's like all the perks and rewards, and here's somebody that does a tier 5 donation, or like a $5 donation, whatever, and you're giving that person with the 5-tier donation all the perks and pledges of the $10 one, compared to the $10 one, where the $10 person isn't getting any of those perks or rewards. It's an example. It's kind of like that. And that's where it really got under my skin and got on my nerves. And this is the part of the conversation I honestly hate how I acted, but I will kind of paraphrase what I said. Basically, I just said something along the lines of, I need to get this out of my basement. You know, and now you're meeting up with this other person, and now I'm just starting to question, like, our friendship. Like, what does it mean if you're going to be, you know, doing something like that? And I just, fuck it, I'll just bring it up. I don't care anymore. Here's what I said. I'm just going to paraphrase it here. Well, I'm just going to read it to you. I just need to get this out of my basement. I don't know how to feel because I'm super happy you met that other person. But I'm jealous I can't meet you. Like, I can't really sit here and be happy you have no interest in a meetup and then see you hanging out with other people when I've talked to you for so much on calls and commissions, etc., as well as have your channel or as my profile page whenever you got time to respond. I know you're at work, just want to talk because it's on my mind. That was basically it. I started this shit out of it, but I haven't really looked back on the message I sent because I'm just not proud of it, because it does sound really petty in the grand scheme of things. And yeah, and with me, I'll give you more context. So the line where I said where you have no interest in a meetup, that was paraphrasing what she said, because she told me she had no desire or interest to meet up with me. And those choice of words really bugged me, so I just wanted to give context to that, like, little phrase. And she replied back, and we're right back to where it started, it seems. I apologize for getting your hopes up, but continuously bringing this up isn't going to change my mind. If anything, it makes me less inclined to want to talk. I can't fucking word this. I'm sorry. I don't ever look back on this. And we're right back to where we started. It seems I apologize for getting our hopes up, but continuously bringing this up isn't going to change my mind. If anything, it makes me less inclined to want to talk. If every other instance of conversation between us is going to be about this, you need to move on from this, otherwise it's going to get worse. And then I guess I can break down what she said here. But continuously bringing this up isn't going to change my mind. That was only the second time I brought that up. Like, that's the confusing thing. Well, I guess continuously is literally more than once, so technically it's right, but bringing it up twice, you know what, I'll give it the pass, because I think I mentioned it one day, or the 2 times I did it was in the span of like a week. So, you know what, I can give the benefit of the doubt there. But the line where it's just, you know, I need to move on from this and stuff, it's like that, I got nothing. It's just, it's hard to move on from that sort of thing, because, you know, it is so just kind of like makes me feel less important, makes me feel less like, you know, it just makes me feel like, you know, all this time I talked to you, and then, you know, you end up meeting with people that you've barely known compared to me. That's where it sucks. And to say that you need to move on and just don't get that mad. Don't get jelly, bro. And this is my reply here, and this, how I replied, this fucking sucks. I can't stand how I worded this. So I said, you are right. I should not have cared this much if you're going to undermine our entire friendship for the past 2+ years. All the commissions, voice calls, and even commissions were all for naught. I should not have cared that much from the start. It's my fault for being so gullible. I simply can't move on if you're just going to value me as if all the times I talked to you meant nothing. Unless it has, I don't know. You can certainly prove me wrong if our friendship for the last 2 years meant something to you. So basically the whole bit of it was, I shouldn't have cared that much. I shouldn't have, you know, given that much of a shit. And I guess to an extent, I can agree with that. Like, this whole second scenario, oh yeah, I completely agree with. Camera maxed out, had to restart it. So yeah, as far as, like, what I said about, you know, I shouldn't have cared that much, or whatever, like, for the second situation, like, the first one, I had every right to be kind of pissed and a little bit salty. The second one, though, not nearly as much, or not, I should not have given a shit too damn much. But basically the whole point, at least for this other message, was to kind of, you know, prove me wrong, you know, prove me wrong that, you know, our friendship meant a lot more to you, or that it meant something, because I'm just not getting that vibe. And it was just more of just reassurance sort of thing. And she pretty much answered it. She said, you know, they did mean a lot to me. When I need your support, our friendship meant a lot to me, but this is how things are going to be, then it's over. So she answered my question, and then she ended it. And then she freaking unfriended me and blocked me, I think. I don't even know. I have no fucking clue. So that's, like, the gist of, like, that stuff. I just don't like looking back on it, because, like, I feel like a jackass for how I replied, like, those last 2 messages. Those fucking bugged me. Or 3 or whatever. So, yeah. So, yeah, then after that, before I even had a chance to reply, she unfriended me and, I guess, blocked me, or she might have her Discord settings set to, like, you know, if only friends could actually message you, or direct message you, or whatever. I'm assuming that's the case. So, yeah. And since then, I've been unable to talk to her or talk things out. And that's where really the rest of this kind of just remains just unresolved. And now, like, at this point, a month later, because that was like May 3rd, at this point, like, now it's just fucking dumb. Like, she's not getting back to me. I've messaged her on a DeviantArt apologizing, because I learned more different things from what the other person that met up with her the first time told me, that, like, you know, with this whole situation, it really upsetted her a lot more than what I thought. So, you know, there was just other things that, like, I just wasn't sure. So I tried my best. The point is, I tried my best to kind of resolve things, try to fix things. I apologize that, you know, I felt bad that, you know, she got as upset as she did, because I didn't fucking know. So I didn't know. And I tried my best to fix things, but she hasn't gotten back to me. She's just flat out completely cut ties with me, and that fucking hurts, man. That, like, for all the conversations we talked to and everything for those years, and just for the lack of you know, communication and transparency and being able to talk things out, that's where it fucking bugs me. Because in the grand scheme of things, like, that whole second instance, I should not have even gotten that mad or salty or anything really about it. Yeah, it's a little fucking shitty in the grand scheme of things, but this other person told me later on that, you know, this other person that she met up with was recommended by him to her. So she was, like, more than, I guess she trusted him and was more comfortable with him being there, sort of thing. So I'm just like, okay, if she wants to put faith in this guy and approve of him, like, meeting up, and, like, okay, I get it. That's, in the grand scheme of things, that whole second instance shouldn't have even been an issue to begin with, and I shouldn't have been as fucking salty. But, like, my approach and my attention for that message was just, like, just reassurance and trying to just talk things out and just be open. And in that case, I guess it was just the wrong thing to do. I don't know. I mean, at this point now, like a month in, I've tried my best to you know, try to fix things, apologize. And she's seen the messages. It's not like she's just, you know, completely just busy and can't see them. With DeviantArt, when you send a note, it has the little green box, and when they read it, it you know fades out. It's not, you know, green. It's freaking yellow. I can't get my colors right. So yeah, when somebody reads it, it's not yellow anymore. So she's read my messages. She just hasn't replied. I tried to add her back on my Discord, and nothing. Now, I don't know if they actually went through or not. I don't know. I have no fucking clue. But the thing that does bug me is, like, I guess to me, I guess from my perspective, is, like, now I feel very, very uncomfortable being on that server, that specific server, because she's in there. And for the last month, like, I'm trying not to think about it. And I take days off here and there, trying to fucking move on and move past it. And it's hard. It's fucking hard because, you know, I've talked to this person every fucking day for 2 years. I'm trying to move on and move past things when I've only, like, in a span of a month compared to the 2 years. Like, it's just not fucking easy. So I take these days off here and there, thinking like those couple of days will make me feel better. I won't get, you know, so triggered just seeing her in the group. And it's just like little things that bug me when I'm in there. It's not even really that big of a deal, but she will always say things about how she loves everybody in the group and does like these little like star dot thing, and it's like if you you put the star like at the beginning and the end of a word, it'll kind of like highlight or italicize it, and she'll do with that like where she'll do like this thing where she just hugs everyone with that sort of thing. And it's like, to me, it's like it's just all bullshit, because she obviously has some beef with me, so she doesn't love everyone. She doesn't want to hug everyone. It's so fucking fake. At least in that case. In that case, it's so fucking fake. And it's just the lack of communication and the lack of trying to talk things out like big boys and big girl. Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And that's, I guess, what bugs me the most. Because at the end of the day, I always want to try to fix my problems and try to resolve beefs and grudges. Because at the end of the day, the world is a small place. And I do want to, you know, the world needs more love. The world needs more just people being together. And in the grand scheme of things, it was not that bad. It was not that big of a deal. It was kind of shitty, like the first situation or scenario. But the second one, I shouldn't have gotten anywhere near as mad. So that's just, I guess that's just me, because I really just like to always have things just kind of work out and just kind of, you know, not have this sort of thing. 'Cause it's fucking dumb. At the end of the day now, it's been a month and she's just unwilling to, you know, just talk things out. That's just, like, at this point now it's just fucking dumb. That's really all I can say, it's just dumb. Yeah. Again, I don't really like making these type of videos where I just go into just my personal life or just things that have just been going on. But I feel like it's just important just because of just the significance and everything, and just how much it's just been bugging me. I mean, I've had sleepless nights last couple of days just because I wanted to really just talk about this and just completely fucking move on, because I know once I'm done recording this, I'll feel a hell of a lot better, and it'll just be gone from me, and I can just fucking move on. Because if she's just unwilling to talk or try to, you know, be able to communicate with me and all this sort of stuff, and just like, I just, like, if she's just unwilling to want to fix things or patch things up, then I can't really do too much more. I mean, that now the ball is up in her court, and I don't think she really gives too much of a shit to want to be friends with me again after that. And that sucks. I mean, because I don't like to sit here and be on a pedestal and think that I'm this, you know, 100% perfect being that makes no mistakes. And like, my God, I mean, if you've seen my playthroughs, like, I make mistakes so many times on little things, and I'm not perfect. But at the end of the day, I try to be the best, you know, person I can. Try to be the, you know, the best me I can. And these steps forward, like getting a bowling ball, being out more, doing more things like that, and it will help. It will absolutely help, and it definitely has. But this video, I've been meaning so much to fucking make, and it'll just be great, like, body cleanser. When this whole shitstorm started happening around May 3rd to May 8th, somewhere around there, I don't know when, I was talking to Dale Reynolds about, like, a little bit of the situation, and I was talking about this, and, like, in that moment, like, when that whole stuff happened, like, the world fucking stopped for me. Like mentally, the world, like, absolutely stopped. It was just slow motion, and, like, in that little time frame, like, I wanted to fucking commit suicide. Like, I wanted to die. Like, I just didn't think the world was worth living in that little time frame. Like, that's how bad it got to me. Like, how, you know what I did and how I felt about it in that moment. And like, I had the shits and everything. Like, I felt just terrible. And I just, like, that's how I felt in that moment. Now, obviously, I didn't do it, and I don't condone suicide. I mean, I lost a friend to suicide. I'm not going to do that. But, like, in that little moment, I was like, I can almost understand somebody's view, like, point of view on why they would want to just end their life like that. Because in that moment, you just think, like, there's no point living anymore. Like, just everything, like, you just feel so, it's just terrible. And I get it. I get why people feel like that. It's a horrible thing to go through, and I felt like that in that period of time, and it was terrible. I don't think I felt that bad in a situation. In a couple of years, at least, maybe not since, like, right around maybe 2016, when I was working at Roadhouse, how bad I was feeling there, like, after a bit, but, like, maybe not to that degree, I don't know, but it was a horrible thing. And that's how I felt about the situation. And when all that shit went down, in early May, I took a step back. That was one of the many times I took a break from Discord for, like, maybe 3 to 4 days. And I went back to listening to Michael Jackson music for the first time in maybe 2 years. And listening to his music again and made me realize, how much, his music kind of made me feel good. Made me want to just be a better person and try to just, I guess, be more loving, be more caring, just trying to make the world a better place even in the smallest of ways for me and around other people. Like, and that's where I feel like, in the grand scheme of things, that's what I feel like life is all about. It's just, trying to do the best and trying to make yourself happy, as well as, making other people around you happy, and trying to, make the world a better place in any way you can. Whether it's through videos, whether it's in real life, or talking to friends, offline, real life, online, wherever. Like, that's why I feel like in the grand scheme of things, that's what it should be all about. And I do regret how I acted in that whole second instance, because I really shouldn't have handled it the way I did. Now, like, yeah, it's just, and I guess at this point now, like, if she is absolutely willing to message me, try and talk things out, I'll be more than welcome to settle things and get everything back to normal. I'm just done trying at this point. So I just think the whole situation is dumb. But yeah, that's what I feel about the whole situation. I'm sorry if this is a long video. I mean, it's just been a lot on my mind for the last month, and getting it all out makes me feel a lot better. And that was, like, part of the story that was mentioned in the text story. It's a very small portion. It was only maybe like 14 minutes that I cut out, compared to this, which is like over 30. So yeah, that was just why, and that's just what's been going on. And it's just been hard, just trying to move on and everything. And it was just a big part of my life for those past couple of years, to talk to somebody like that every single day, and to not have it. I mean, I had many conversations where I would just talk to her and just be like, after the fact, where I knew she didn't feel the same way I did, I'm just like, I view you like a family member, and you're like a second sister to me. Like those things, like I always say, I did mean it, and like that's how I felt, and that's how much she meant to me in that regard. And it's just a shitty feeling when you try your best to try to work things out, and it's just not gonna happen, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. If people are still watching, bravo, because I mean, it's just a lot on my mind right now, and just a lot to kind of unravel, and I want to be super transparent with you guys because you guys mean the fucking world to me. And I just want you to know what's been going on, and it's been a month now, and it was still bugging me enough to talk about it. So yeah, I mean, I know in my heart I try to do the best I can to try to fix things, and it just didn't work out. So I don't know, that's really about all I really wanted to talk about. But yeah, that's just the whole situation. I'm sorry to go into it for so fucking long. Just a lot to talk about. So yeah, I don't even know if the camera's gonna max out. Just a lot to talk about, I'm sorry. So yeah, that's really about it. I hope you guys understand the whole situation. I hope none of you feel like I'm like this shitty, horrible person. I don't know, but I just thought I should let you know what's been going on, and talking about it feels a lot better, so yeah. I'll see you all later, and as always, have a good day, everyone.